Guys, my name is Roxanne De Winters and you're hanging with me, Roxanne D. And before we begin, you may or may not want to look at all of the album covers for all of the different actual official 21 Pilots albums, because today we are doing makeup looks inspired by 21 Pilots album covers. In the near future, I intend to do makeup looks inspired by other album covers for different bands that I like, but today, because I feel like it, because a lot of new stuff has been released for 21 Pilots, we're doing 21 Pilots. So, let's get started. Our first makeup look is going to be inspired by the self-titled album. And if you don't know what the self-titled album cover looks like, it looks like this. This is what's on my computer screen right now. It looks like this. And so for that, we're going to start, of course, as with any makeup look, with basic foundation that matches your skin tone. I happen to use a lot more BB cream and stuff like that than facial foundation. So I am using Maybelline New York Dream BB Pure because that's what I like. I'm not sponsored by them at all, but I'm going to put a little bit of BB cream onto my face, generally everywhere. Gonna make these high heels work, stuff like that. So now that I have blended that out, I am going to advise you to make sure it's all nice and very carefully blended. Be really good about blending it out. And then cover any trouble spots with some concealer. I use CoverGirl Clean Invisible Concealer in the palest shade I can find, because let's be real, I am a very, very pale person. Another pro trick from yours truly: if your concealer is not light enough to be able to cover a red spot, is not good enough to be able to cover a red spot, like this little acne zones that you may or may not have, you can put a little bit of green eyeshadow over the area, blend it out a little, and then cover that all with concealer. Kind of like that. This is just a real trick for any massive trouble spots, but it's very, very helpful to use because I don't have any of that special green concealer stuff that some people have if they're fancy and rich, because I'm not fancy and rich. I'm self-funded and practically broke. So I just use some green eyeshadow I happen to have on hand at any given moment with some concealer, and it really does help. Alright, so now that you've done your concealer and stuff, all of these looks really sort of just build upon each other. So you can do your lips real quick. I'm using this old lip crayon I have in the color Spice from ColorMates. I got it to do a play a few years ago, and it's still absolutely fabulous. So just drawing your lips like that. If you're like me, you're gonna fail a little bit, but that's okay, because makeup is also a form of experimentation, so failure is basically inevitable in any experiment. So don't worry about it, you're fine. Make sure to blot all of this off with a tissue. I don't have any tissues on me at the moment with which to blot it off, so cheers, I'm basically doomed, but that's beside the point. So now, what you're gonna do, you're gonna very lightly, not much at all, take a fluffy brush, or a proper contouring brush if you have one. I happen to use this sort of angled fluffy brush. Carve out your cheeks. Be sure not to get it too heavy, but just carefully just go for it. The fun part about doing these makeup looks is that the only thing that really changes for each one is the eyeshadow. So now we're going to do our self-titled inspired look. So, step 1, choose your colors. In this case, I'm going to be using a lot of purples, greens, blues, stuff like that, just to generally give that vibe. I will also factor in a bit of gold. It'll be quite lovely in the end, and yeah. So, let's get started. These are the brushes I will be using. I have a blending brush, I have an eyeshadow C brush, I have a small angled brush, typically for like lining, and then I have this flawless concealer brush, but I don't use it for concealer because it's better for blending like eyeshadows and powder things. It's more made for powder, I think, because I'm a lazy bum. So anyways, here we go. We're going to take our C brush, and we're going to take a blend of some different shades of purple eyeshadow. And first, cut an angle. Cut the crease, angle up, that sort of deal. As you can see, it's sort of just slightly deep. You know what I'm trying to say here. Deepens the crease a little bit. It's quite lovely, and yeah. Now that you've done that, take this brush, your blending brush. I use it just generally for powders, like eyeshadows and things, and take a little bit of a blue eyeshadow. Stripe it down at the outer corner on both eyes. Sort of little fence post. Alright. Then, using that same brush, clean it out a little first. Green. If you can see that, it's turning greenish, which is good. And now if you do have one, a yellow or a gold tone, I personally do not have any yellows or golds, so I typically just steal a slightly golder tone from a different palette at this point, combine it with like a light glittery glimmer color, and then just take a gold color. Boom. Right down next to the green. Clean out your brush as best you can at this point. And then take a more orange tone. I would use an amber color typically, but I don't have it on me. Do most of the inner corner. And now you're going to take that thin liner brush that I told you about, the angle brush. And you're going to, I'm actually using blush for this from MAC Cosmetics. I got this in New York City, by the way. And you're going to take a red, take that red to your corners and at your lash line. Just like that. It looks ridiculous right now, I know. It looks crazy to me too. But it's going to come together in the end, and it's going to look really cool. I'm sorry, I had to turn on my special light behind the camera. But as you can see, we've taken red and we've lined around our eyes with it. We have all of our other colors. I'm going to turn off my light so you can get a better picture of the spectrum on this eye. It looks like kind of crazy right now. I'm finishing up with the lining, And that's actually kind of how it's supposed to look. You're going to take a pinkish color and a purplish color now. Dot it under your eye to create sort of light, gentle bagging, like you're tired. That's okay. Because if you can see that, that's what it looks like now. Just accentuate your natural tiredness, because you probably have nothing better to do than to watch my videos at midnight. And so now that you have that going on, your makeup look is actually essentially complete, unless you want to add like a little bit of mascara. I typically use ELF, stands for eyes, lips, face, by the way, just saying. And I'm not going to because I'm too lazy. But that's your self-titled, inspired, slightly rainbowed out look. And if you want to add veins of color along your face, if you're feeling daring, you can. It's just that I'm not coordinated enough to do that, except like maybe a little bit. Let's try this. Gonna take purple. Run a few little veins of purple along my forehead. It's not very dark, so you can't really see it. That's sort of supposed to represent the creative juices or whatever it is flowing free from the guy on the cover's brain. Just take your colors, roll with it. I'm doing one of every color. Including orangish. Turned out more orange than I had planned on that. So, take a little of all the colors, do that. And in the center, if you'd like, you could draw a little purple dot thing. Smudge it out a little bit. And then if you want to try to draw the light bulb from the cover, you can, but I'm too uncoordinated for that, so I'm gonna draw a little purple dot in right up here. Looks sort of more like a star, but that's okay, to represent the little space where the light bulb is. And yeah, that's my self-titled inspired look. Alright, so I'm going to be skipping around between the eras because I want to do this as quickly as possible, and the next one is actually much quicker. And so I'm going to be doing blurry face makeup now for you guys because I'm going to skip around, as I said. And so, number one, if you're like me and you're wearing some gray for all the other albums, lose the gray. Gray is not allowed. However, this button-down shirt thing that I'm wearing is. And so is your basic baseball cap. Gonna take a little strand of my hair, like that. Pull it through. Let it stick out. Let it hang free and loose. Like that, right there in front of my face. Voila. Look at that. I stole the cap idea from a bunch of different 21 Pilots music videos in which Josh wears a cap. I'm also going to take off my bracelet because, yeah, it has purple on it and it doesn't go with the theme, which is black, red, and white. So anyway, this one's a much more like basic makeup thing, and it's going to look more emo, I guess. So, don't gotta change the lipstick up that much if you want to do lipstick with that. But what you're going to do is you're going to take this brush right here that I was using a lot of earlier, gonna cover it in red eyeshadow. Okay? And just apply that red eyeshadow literally everywhere. You could put on eyeshadow primer beforehand if you're like me and you want it to stay on, but like today I decided not to because I'm lazy and I don't have time to try to scrub off eyeshadow primered eyeshadow. But on the bottom, you want it to be a lot bolder than on the top because reasons. So you're going to actually take eyeshadow primer, run it along the bottom of your eye, just like me, like I did just then. Does very much neutralize out your natural bags and stuff, by the way, pro tip. Eyeshadow primer, eye primer, whatever you want to call it, is basically just eye concealer. Hides your veins and stuff. The stuff no one wants to see. And it does make your eyes look a lot smaller, but that will be rectified and remedied very quickly the minute we put some red eyeshadow under there. So, take your red, sweep it under your eye, around your eye, just generally all in your eye socket. Sort of Josh Dunnish style here, of course. Of course, we're going to reference baby Joshua because Joshua is a bean. And funny story, you can see how my lower lash line looks super white right now. Yeah, we're going to take our angled liner brush from earlier. We're going to make it look whiter and line this general area with white eyeshadow. White eyeliner is also pretty great in this circumstance, but I currently am out / can't find my pencil, so I'm just using what I got available to me, which happens to be that. And on your top lash line, I'm going to take black, just little 2005 emo aesthetic, take black eyeshadow, rub it along the lash line, quick and easy. Like I said, this look is the easiest to execute of all of them. And if you want to just like, I'm taking red eyeshadow, dotting it along my lips a little bit, because, I don't know, I think it's more aesthetically appealing for that particular era. And you may want to slightly fill your eyebrows if you're like me and you're just on your eyebrows. So yeah, that's Blurry Face. Alright, now we are going to do a, I'm having a moment, brain fart. I believe it's regional at best. I'm having a moment, regional at best, with the whole red, white, and blue aesthetic. And so we're going to take our C-shaped eyeshadow brush and use it with our red eyeshadow that we used back for Blurry Face. And cut the crease and an angle with red. Just like so. None of these looks involve mascara, by the way, but you can add mascara if you feel like it or for just reasons. For me, I don't have to because, as you can tell, I have long, thick eyelashes naturally. So that's a thing. If you need mascara, yes, go ahead and use it. I personally am not using it on these looks at all. But, yeah. Also, blue is going to be your friend, so take this brush, get some blue, fill the center in, fill it well. Don't be shy. Don't be shy, fam. Now take the red. Make sure not to make purple with it. And using your angled brush from earlier, run it on the outer corner and your bottom lash line. And forgive my dog barking in the background. Just like that. Just run it everywhere. Remove the baseball cap from the mix and look super cutesy. I don't know, I've failed at this look, but it does actually kind of work. If you leave a little bit more blank space in the middle, it sort of works, especially if you're pale. So yeah, you can see here my little regional at best type look. Alright, sorry my eyes are watering a little bit. Now for Vessel, because Vessel is probably the easiest one on our list. Vessel is just a basic smoky eye, really. Take a little bit of a grayish or black color to cut your crease, your corner, yada yada. You know the drill. Take grays, take blacks, take whatever it is that you need for the circumstances. Fill it out a little bit towards the center. Darken it, yada yada. And then just take a fluffy brush of sorts. Mine has fallen somewhere and I cannot locate it anymore. Or just your fingers. Just blend it out. Easy as that. It's not that complicated. And that's what I love about the Vessel album covers. It's all grays, blacks, whites, and whatever. And I would normally have thrown on my gray sweater cover thing again, but I'm too lazy. Alright, so we're going to have 2 more looks in this video, which are 3 Songs and Trench. Trench is not out yet, but 3 Songs is just basically like a little EP type thing. It's short, it's to the point. So basically it's just blue, green, and gray. I'm going to make a blue-greenish, more green than blue color eyeshadow. Use it to cut my crease, accentuate my corner, etc. Like that. Do that for both of your eyes. It's a struggle for me to do my right eye, so forgive me that they don't look even. And then just clean out your brush a little. Take a gray color of any sort. I don't remember. Yes, there's my beautiful palette of purples and grays. Just take a nice light gray color, do it in the middle, kind of like that. Gray in the middle right there. And then if you can find a fluffy brush that's like small enough, blend it out. If not, I'm going to be using my old brush like that. Drag everything down more toward the center a little bit. Neutralize. But not too much. Of course you could add eyeliner, mascara, all that jazz, but I'm too lazy to deal with that right now. So this is what you've got for now, is just this beautiful monstrosity. And that is for 3 songs. And last but not least, everyone's new best friend, The Trench album. That's going to be coming out real soon, and let me just pull up the cover for it that I have found that's kind of a thing from Google. This is what the cover is probably going to end up looking like. I'm pretty sure that is what the cover is, but I'm very, very tired and lazy. So what we're going to do first, if I can relocate it. That's the word for it, not refind, relocate. Golly, I cannot today. I can relocate my eyeshadow. Ah, there's my eye primer. You're going to take a lot of this stuff, and you're just going to rub it all over your eyes. I wouldn't do this for any of the other looks except maybe Blurry Face or Self-Titled. But you need this primer for this look. Because if you're me, and I am me filming this video, I want my eyes to look flawless for the trench look. A lot of people have taken interpretations of a trench-inspired makeup look, like Evangeline DeMuro, I think her name is. Oh god, I'm having a minute. I can't do names, by the way. I'm just saying I am not good with names at all. So I can't remember YouTuber names at all, by the way. So, but you're going to want to primify your entire eye area, even just right under your brow bone. I'm not kidding. You want to keep your eyes looking really nice. You want it to be pretty like that, and that kind of eats away at the look of your eyelashes. So for this look, I'm finally going to have to put on mascara, which stinks, but hey, such is life. So I have a bunch of palettes I'm going to be using for this. Number 1, my ELF contour palette. Take a little bit of contouring powder, just gently, right under your cheeks. Clean out that brush, and use that same brush, if you're like me and using a fluffy brush, to highlight your cheekbones. I have to put a lot of highlight on because, yeah. So now that most of your makeup is already done, because you already did the lips back at phase 1 like me, you're going to go super gold here. You're going gold here. We're going gold, okay? So I'm going to blend together as many of my goldest gold tones as I have, which is the City Mini palette, gold color eyeshadow. I don't know what it's called. And the gold tone right here in Maybelline The Nudes. If I can open it. Oh, thank God, I can actually open it today. And you're just gonna go crazy with your under eye area. You're gonna golden your entire under eye area. It would work better if I had like a nice bright yellow color to work with, but since I don't, I won't do much of that. Just gold in your entire under eye, as gold as you can gold it. I'm not kidding when I say as gold as you can gold it. Because I am hardcore golding right now. As stupid as that sounds, yes, this is professional advice. And look at that. That's gorgeous right there. That is gold as gold gets, basically. You might want to put yellow face paint under this if you have some yellow face paint. I do somewhere, but I cannot find it at all recently. So that's kind of a problem for me because, yeah, that limits my makeup ability. And then you're just going to clean out that brush. I clean out my brush on my hand and my wrist and arm. I'm not kidding. I'm very, very lazy and I don't have time to get up and do stuff. So we're going to go back to this Maybelline The Nudes palette real quick. Take a paler nude glimmer color, like this corner right here. And just get that all up in your brush. Rub that all over your upper eyelid. Just make yourself look as cute as possible. If you want to use false eyelashes on the outside, you can make yourself look more doe-eyed. I already naturally look pretty darn doe-eyed, so I'm not even going to bother with that. So just take a light color, smear it all over your eyelids. That's just my take on it, at least. And for once, you're actually probably going to end up using eyeliner unless you're me and you're too lazy, but I'm going to be using, once again, my MAC palette that I got myself in New York City. By the way, if you go to the MAC store, look for a guy named Jay there. He is very, very helpful. I'm just saying, if you get the chance to go to New York City and go to the MAC store, look for a guy named Jay and tell him that a YouTuber with a red and black eyeshadow palette sent you. He will know who you are talking about. Vaguely, probably. But line your eyelashes, line your upper lash line with the black powder because you're too lazy to use an actual eyeliner pencil. You may also want to line the lower lash line outer corner if you're like me and you're just go for it type of person. Make sure to do that for both of your eyes because, yeah, why not? It's not going to be completely even because, you know, who needs even eye makeup? So you can see right there that it looks sort of boxish on both sides, like ancient Egyptian eyeliner. And that's actually pretty aces and sort of partially what we're going for here. It doesn't have to look perfect. You've been living in Dima for the past several years. And from what I've seen, Dima doesn't have much fashion sense. So just a little bit of mascara, especially on the outer corners. I'm just blinking into it right now because I'm an uncoordinated, also very lazy human being. Just make yourself as doe-eyed as you can. That's the thing, make yourself doe-eyed. And I know that most people have probably stopped watching at this point, but there's also a fun hair thing you can do if you're like me and you have short hair. Number 1, take it out of the ponytail you had it in. Number 2, take this front little center section, and probably this little bit with it. And number 3, separate it into 3 big sections like that, braid it together. You can do the other trench makeup ideas and not braid it. Do the subtle alternative to braiding, but I'm not good at any of that, so I just choose to actually braid stuff. And make as many braids as you want. This is going to be your big thick braid, but I don't really have any sunflowers or anything to put in my hair and stuff. So I'm going to probably end up using a cheap flower elastic from when I was a young child. It's like my hair is ridiculous and a mess right now, I know, forgive it. Forgive the mess. Excuse the mess. I have not brushed my hair today, so it looks like an absolute wreck right now. But the real thing is you just want a little bit of a yellow floral item in your hair. You can always pin it, pin all of your hair back, clip it, braid it. You can also braid the sides a little bit more. You can braid this side. You can do whatever with it. You can just go with it. Just go with it. Make it your own. Make it unique, etc., etc., etc. And darn do I wish I had a hairpin right now, or 2, maybe 5. I don't know. I would kill for 5 hairpins right now. Hold on, let me go. Let me go do my hair real quick, and I will be back in 2 seconds. I gotta grab some bobby pins. And now you can see that I actually do have hairpins in, and also I put a little extra flower right on the back above my ponytail, and I have an extra braid right there. So I've got 2 braids going here, as well as my usual messy bangs. I'm a wreck, as you can tell, but that's okay. I've been living in Dima. Look at that, look at that. I'm getting away from that. No more Dima. No more Dima. I just want to wear pretty flowers and stuff, though, too. And my hair's a mess, but that's okay. That's A+s, though. That's aces. It's all aces here, man. But thank you guys so much for watching my 21 Pilots inspired makeup look ideas. I tried to cover every album. I feel like I've forgotten some because I looked at all of the album covers for inspiration for these things, but holy moly. I feel like I've forgotten something even though I'm pretty sure I haven't. Just let me know in the comments if I did. Also, let me know which one of these looks is your favorite and if you're excited for the new Trench album like I am. I mean, like, it's been too long. They needed to come back sooner, and I'm glad they're finally off hiatus, and I'm just casually putting away my makeup as I film this last portion. Any Trey, or any Ayuro, or any whatever it is that you want to say. I say anyway, any Ayuro, any Trey, like Trey Cool from Green Day. More on that later. Yeah, that's the end of this video, I guess, so you can click away now if you want to. Please don't forget to do all the things like I usually ask you to in my videos, and I love you guys. Mwah, bye!